Castle of Castle Does, bringing you Subnautica. This is the final week before the release of the game. Is that what you're watching? That's what you're watching right now. I phrased that like it was a question. It's kind of funny. So right now is when the big crunching actually started, and everything started getting more stressful. At this point, though, it wasn't too bad. A lot of the stuff I'm still doing is just uh, getting entity slots placed in. And then I experimented a little bit with bringing more of the creatures than we normally had seen before. At this point, I wasn't quite ready. Well, actually, I was. I guess that must have happened during the same day, where we had made the decision to start hand placing creatures in specific spots. Although, in my opinion, actually, one of the things I want to do is replace the hand placed creatures with slots, because the slot system is just more. It's better to use a slot system, so we can choose to not spawn a stalker, or maybe different kinds of stalkers can appear there, or maybe every once in a while it'll be a group of 3 stalkers, or a super deadly scary stalker, or electric stalker. There you go. The slot system makes it possible for us to change things up at any time. Right now I'm placing crashfish, and these crashfish are spawns, this is their homes, and so far these guys, I can't stop laughing when I watch people playtesting, because these fish are fucking hilarious. Every single reaction I've seen on videos of people playing these these fish very quickly have earned a reputation. I think they're a little too deadly at the moment. But a lot of the time, these fish, they scare people out from going all the way into the cave. It was like, man, if you just go a little bit further, there's copper in that cave. Well, right there. That one that I just placed was protecting the copper. And it's still so early right now, though, that some of the higher end ingredients aren't really necessary at the moment for crafting, but they will be. I decided to try the idea of putting a sand shark in that tunnel, and then I later decided that it was a bad idea. Currently, as of this video, currently sand sharks just don't have. They're not functioning correctly. But we've had a bunch of meetings talking. That's one of the things about these videos that's kind of sad, because a lot of stuff happens off camera. You're only watching the level design stuff, but luckily, at least the way the show is formatted right now, I'm still able to talk about what happened behind the scenes. Lots of meetings. I had called a creature meeting on Monday to discuss how the creatures are going to behave, and we end up having this whole talk with the entire team. I wanted to make sure that the entire team was bought in on it, and everybody knew what was going on, and we can hear everybody's ideas of what the creatures should be doing. And it turned out way better than if I had just said, we need these 5 things to happen with each of the creatures. Instead, there were some new ideas that I didn't even think about. Like, the stalker actually likes shiny objects, so if there's metal laying around, he will actually pick it up. I never thought I'd see this. He would actually pick the metal up and move it to wherever he thought his home was, which is his spawn point. So if if you drop a scuba tank, it will distract him, and you can swim around. You can drop anything that's metal, and these guys will pick it up and move it over. I didn't know we were gonna get that in there. That's crazy. That's really fucking funny. And that's just the kind of stuff that absolutely want to have. That's fantastic. We also ended up with a bunch of errors and things of that nature. We have a cache system right now for performance reasons, which is good, because this is the engine right now is handling the game fairly well, a lot better than I was thinking it would. But everything has to be pre-cached in files. In other words, a lot of the changes that I made over the course of the week didn't actually become playable until the last day, right before the final playtest on Thursday. So a lot of people didn't get to see all of the new entity slots as I was placing them in. The infrastructure right now allows for multiple people to work in the same area at the same time, which is typically something that I always like to see, just because it doubles, in throughput, or almost. And in some cases, like a lot of the errors that you see in a game like Skyrim is due to the fact that one person was working on the same area and then another person came in and made changes but didn't see the other person's changes. And some of that ended up actually happening. So we ended up with some floating objects that, as of this video, I've yet to fix, but I will fix them first thing on Monday. I will be getting back into the full swing of things, and you'll end up seeing that. I don't like it when I see floating objects because it just looks lazy. But sometimes you can't really avoid it. If you have multiple people working on the same area, you end up having situations where somebody moves something over and there was an item sitting on top of it. Now the item's floating in the air. It just happens. But it won't stay that way, because I'm going to go through that and make sure I've tracked down every one of those types of bugs. They won't last for more than a day once I'm back in full swing of things. So, as of this video right now, the game, I believe the game is actually released, although there was some technical difficulty about getting the Steam keys released on time. But I'm not so sure I fully know what the story is behind that, so don't quote me yet. Or actually, all this is going to be old news by the time you're seeing this, because there's a lag between when the videos are made and when things actually happen, which is one of the bigger topics that I'm going to have to start going over, is taking the YouTube channel as more seriously, as I'm just now starting to get more and more subscriptions. I got almost 200 subscribers as of right now, which is probably maybe 150 more than I was thinking I would ever get. So it seems to keep increasing as well, and I'm gonna have to start thinking about things a little bit more clearly as far as how far to go with the channel. And I'm definitely going to maintain things anyway. I'm getting, I guess it's only natural I'm going to get sidetracked. I'm placing into these slots right now, and this was my week. And it started getting worse too, because it's not just like placing entity slots, it's also about making sure that the system that spawns those entities is also functioning correctly. I wasn't just dropping a bunch of boxes and spheres in space and hoping for the best. I was also making sure that these things were spawning the correct stuff, so that people who played the game would have fun with it, right? Because these areas were empty. Well, mostly they were mostly empty. Well, which is natural. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that like under the tone of like, well, damn it, what's wrong with this? There was nothing. I mean, it wasn't done yet. But when I came in, it definitely needed a lot of work on this front, and I feel pretty comfortable saying, yeah, I knew exactly what we needed to get going to get it in a functional state and make it fun, where the player no longer thinks that the world is empty. And now that's not even one of the complaints. People aren't even complaining about that anymore. That was one of the main complaints. And then the final playtest, it was like, what is this? This is completely different from the previous playtests, which is better results than I was expecting. Way better results than I was expecting. I was expecting that we would hear maybe there would be too many entities now, or it had gone too far. I wasn't expecting to like pow hit the sweet spot and get it right in the first try. I was expecting maybe, I don't know, maybe some kind of an error would pop up and we'd have to pull them back, or come up with how some things don't usually pan out that way. That's all I'm saying. And somehow it managed to work out fairly well on that front, which is a big front. I mean, this is like all the things that spawn in the entire world. All right. So that was Monday, I think. I'll have to. Whew. And that was just getting started. All right. Stay tuned for more stress before the storm, or the storm before the stress. Together. All right. Thanks for watching.